college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on The Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a tremendous Friday. Enjoy the games, folks. We got a lot of college football coming up.
A tremendous football Friday, by the way.
Yes.
Big games. If you heard the opening segment, big games that are sitting heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind for both BYU, Utah, and Utah State. I mean, if we're being frank, if they can't get this one against UNLV, they got to go on the road against Fresno. They got to find one there. If they can't get that, then they get one last shot against the Boise State Broncos at Maverick Stadium on Merlin Olsen Field. That's not going to be easy.
No.
And I've got some anxieties for them because Bronco making it to a bowl game in his inaugural season would be a big deal for Bronco.
Be huge for Bronco, be huge for Utah State and this athletic department. And joining us now, he is the athletic director of Utah State University, Cameron Walker, kind enough to hang out with us. Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
New TV deal. Let's talk about it. USA with the new Pac-12. I know you came into that midstream as the athletic director, but what does this mean for the conference? What does this mean for Utah State?
Yeah, I think the conference did a terrific job. Teresa's really made it a priority to make sure that we've got football games on television channels that people can access and have heard of. And I think that's a big deal when we're able to get all of our conference games, in linear television. It's going to be a better place for us than even some of the power conferences, as they're termed. And so I'm really excited about it. I think it's a huge thing for Utah State and a huge thing for the Pac-12 as we go to rebuild this league.
If you don't mind, give us some of the deals or some of the details of the deal. Scotty said USA Network, but give us some of the details of what it's being explained as to you.
Yeah, so, primarily with football, but it certainly expands to other sports as well. But with football, we're going to have all of our conference football games are going to be on either CBS, CBS Sports Network, CW, or USA. And so there's those are just a huge part of television packages that are easy to access and that most people have. And so not only are you getting the people that want to tune in and watch you, which your fans are always going to try and find where you're at, but you're also getting the casual viewer that's going, Utah State versus UNLV tonight. Let's check this out. So it's just much more accessible, which I think is a big thing. But our basketball games will be on those same networks. There will be a few games, mainly non-conference games, that will stream. Those details of those streaming will get ironed out here. But most of them, our men's basketball games will be there, and even some of our women's basketball games. So I think it's a huge opportunity to just be visible. It'll make a huge difference, I think, for us as far as viewership, the value of our sponsors, both in venue and certainly through television, but then also in recruiting.
It's interesting, and I'm not asking you to get into specifics on numbers. I know you got to be very careful about that stuff. But is there conversations, not just in the Pac-12, but also in Power 4 conferences, of we might be able to make more money via streaming, but we still want to be able to have that linear coverage for our recruits to be able to say, hey, you can still flip on your cable or satellite and find that channel. Like, there's got to be a line there between the two, because I imagine if you're, the Big 12 or somebody, you could offer up your tier 1 streaming rights to a streaming company and make a whole ton of money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a continual balance, and something, luckily, that I've been a part of even prior to getting here at Utah State. And so it's a continual balance because, yes, streamers will pay a lot for inventory, and they need more inventory, and live sports continues to be a huge product. But you do have to say, can our fans access it? Do they have to pay extra? And then also, what other eyeballs are we getting that maybe aren't our fans yet and aren't aware of what we're doing? And viewership, as much as we've all kind of shifted into that streaming world, viewership is still higher on linear television. And I think we have to value that. And I think the league did a really good job. Again, Teresa's been outstanding to work with. And I thought she did a really good job of balancing both revenue needs are key, but balancing that with also we've got to be seen. Otherwise, you're kind of like that tree that falls in the forest, and we're wondering, did you make a sound?
Well, Cam, I feel like you're jumping in at the right time with these negotiations, and I'm just curious because when you get in bed with Washington State and Oregon State, who were original Pac-12ers, and you bring Boise State in and you bring Gonzaga in for basketball, that there's a lot of egos at the table to deal with. How difficult has that been, and are there people at the table saying, we want more on this distribution? Is it going to get difficult that way?
You know, I think it's been pretty good so far. I think everybody realizes we're going to be best if we stay unified and work together. And certainly everybody, you know, my job is to get the best and most for Utah State. At the same time, I know if we somehow cripple this league, and there's some lessons to learn from some of the other leagues, you know, that went to uneven distribution and those things, that it's challenging. I do think we have to look as we move to future members and things of that nature, like, are they bringing in value? And if not, then what is their value? But certainly, you know, egos can play a role. So far, everybody's been really good, at least in my short tenure. There's a lot of collaboration and cooperation. And, you know, case in point, we have a little rivalry going with Boise, but Jeremiah up there at Boise and I have talked several times. He was the first one to congratulate me and send me a text when we beat them in the conference championship. So for women's soccer to go to the NCAA. So even though it's this, we all want to beat each other's brains in, you all realize that we're going to be stronger by linking arms, and we need to collaborate to get the most out of these deals and work together. And the more unified we can be, I think the more long-term viability the league has.
Love it. Cam Walker joining us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, athletic director at Utah State. So, huge one against UNLV coming up on Saturday, tomorrow in Las Vegas. I know you're going to be down there. This is going to be a heck of a game as Broncos crew right there on the cusp of becoming bowl eligible. A lot on the line for this one.
Yeah, I'll be heading down there tomorrow so that I can watch our ladies tonight in Provo. But incredibly big game. We're coming off what I think is our best game of the season against Nevada. Nevada played everybody tough. I know the record doesn't indicate, but I think they're a solid football team and been a lot of close games. But we, I think, finally executed in all three phases. Offense looked dynamic, and the defense was really tough all night. I think it's a great opportunity for us. Obviously, that 6 game lingering out there, you always want to get that as early as you can, take some pressure off for the last 2. But really exciting. But UNLV's been very good and continues to have a great football team. And you're always going to have offense, and you've got the coaching staff they've got. So look forward to getting down there and hopefully getting a win.
So, Cam, this is a really unique show where my uncle's names are all over the stadium and all over the university and statues, and my son's headed out to play there, and all of my family still lives in Cache. Scotty, obviously the voice of Utah State, graduated there. You know, we're very connected to that university. We love it, and we champion it. We always have here in the 12 years of our show and the 20 years we've been on air. And one thing that we've really wanted was a president that'll stay, an athletic director that'll stay, and coaches in both basketball and football that will stay. And as you settle in there, you see the president hire, and you get to meet with Bronco and Calhoun and speaking for yourself as well. Do you feel like there's true stability in Logan right now between the athletic department, the president, and the coaching staffs that are there?
Yeah, I do. I think it certainly feels that way. You can never fault somebody for moving on to something that they think is better for them and their family. That's why I came here, right? But at the same time, I think we've got a shot at some longevity. And I think that if we hit our potential and we do what we need to do, that there's been this idea that, maybe Utah State's a step towards someplace else. And I don't think it has to be that. We're going into a league with, like we mentioned earlier, Gonzaga in basketball. Mark Few's not looking to step anywhere else. Why? Because he's supported in a way that'll help him win championships, and he's compensated at a rate that's fair in the market. And I think if we can get to that spot where we're resourcing our teams that way, we can be a destination spot. And I know that may sound like, whoa, that's out there, but I don't think it is. And I think it's very doable. And I think with sustained leadership and people that are committed to seeing it happen, I think there can be long-term viability and sustainability at Utah State and not as much turnover. You'll lose some people here and there. That's part of it. And positive attrition's always, that's never terrible. But we've got to get to where people view us as we should be, which is a destination spot. Someplace you want to try and get to and not someplace that you're trying to get to the next spot.
Yep.
What are your initial conversations like with President Mortensen?
They've been fantastic. He is apprised, aware of the situations in college athletics. Unbelievable, just good nature about him, really positive energy. We've got to spend a lot of time, multiple ball games now together, and then have had some meetings. His energy, his leadership are things that I think we need. He's got a different approach. I think that's the right approach for what we need in higher ed in 2025. Athletics isn't all that's changed, right? Higher ed is changing too, and we have to have different mindsets and different approaches. Higher ed is incredibly valuable, and the data and everything says that across the board, but we've lost the narrative somewhere about the value, and we've got to start telling that story in a better way. And I can't think of anybody to tell the story of Utah State that'll be better positioned to do it than President Mortensen. It doesn't hurt too that he's a fellow Madison Bobcat. We went to the same high school, which is kind of wild.
Hey, it's a 208 takeover, Hans. You got the president and the athletic director, Idaho guys.
Hey, I know, and I don't hate it. I was just actually reading through some of Mortensen's bio, and he was a native of Idaho, but then there were 3 generations of his family that lived in Idaho before they all relocated to Cache Valley, which I love because you all understand that valley. You understand the nuances, the uniqueness of it, and I do think it's one of the more unique valleys in the country, with the members that moved in there. I mean, my family on my mom's side established Minden, Utah, which is on the west side of that valley, tucked up against the mountains. And I've got family that established the other side of that valley near Logan in Paradise. And it's like that it is the unique valley. It's the Saints Valley, and it's great to have men and women in there that understand that.
Yeah, it's an incredible place, and I had high expectations. Again, being familiar with it, I had a lot of relatives that grew up in the Bear Lake area, and we would go back there, and I've been coming back there for years, almost every summer, to spend time. It's an incredible place, and I had high expectations, and those have been nothing but exceeded. The people are incredibly warm, incredibly welcoming, and there just feels like an energy now that and an excitement about what we can build at Utah State, and it's almost tangible. And I'm hoping that more and more in the community continue to feel it because we're going to need all of them to be a part of this. But it can be a really special ride at Utah Athletics because of the uniqueness of the Valley if they'll get behind us.
By the way, we need to mention that you walk into a really great situation in terms of your programs. You had on one day a volleyball team win an outright conference championship, a soccer team win a conference tournament championship, and your football team won a game on Saturday, and it's just a game away from bowl eligibility. But to have not just your football team performing well and the basketball team looking like they're going to have a great season as well, but to have your other sports churning out some great opportunities. You mentioned the women's team will play in the NCAA tournament against BYU coming up later tonight. That's sometimes when you're a new athletic director, you have to do a lot of building up. There's not a lot of building up you have to do with some of these other programs.
Yeah, incredibly fortunate. I wish I could say I had anything to do with any of those outcomes, but it's really the leadership of our head coaches. From that standpoint, we're in a tremendous position as a department. But winning championships is really, really hard, right? Everybody else wants to win it too, and to have 2-1 on the same day, the night after you win a really tough basketball game and the night you win a incredible football game is really rare. I'm trying to soak those in because there's a lot of tough losses too, right? There's a lot of tough outcomes. Sports is hard, winning is hard, and winning championships is even harder. So trying not to take those moments for granted, but incredibly just excited for Rob and his team, and then for Manny, and can't wait to see Manny and them perform tonight.
How's the relationship going with Bronco Mendenhall? Have you been able to meet with him a few times, and what have those conversations been like?
I think it's going great. I hope he would say the same thing. His leadership is so steady and consistent that it's really remarkable. He's a really good communicator, communicates really well with me. But his even keelness, Hans, you played football. Not all football coaches are even keel.
No.
You know that. I've dealt with a lot, and I can certainly testify of that fact that I've had a bunch where even coaches I really get along with, we don't always get along. But his steadiness, his thoughtfulness, he's very methodical and logical, and he is building this program in a way that is sustainable. He is not going to do anything in year 1 or year 2 that shortcuts the outcomes for year 4 and year 5 and year 6. And I think that's so vital today. Everybody wants a quick fix. We want wins now. And certainly we want to win as much as we can now, but we can't do it at the cost of future years. And so getting the culture right, building the team, building the staff in the right way is critical. He's doing those things, and I've enjoyed getting to work with him. Hope to be able to help him in that process and help him address some of the issues and obstacles in front of him, but incredibly excited to continue to work with him as we move this football program forward in the future.
Saw you got to hang out a little bit yesterday with Stu Morrill. I've known Stu for a long time, and he's never shy in sharing opinions. So what was that conversation like?
Tremendous. I mean, he is he just knows so much about the game and athletics in general. Anytime you get to glean information off legends like that, there's not too many people like Stu, and just hearing how he's thinking about this system, as much as he wasn't part of this NIL era and all this, like, he still gets it, and he still knows, and he still understands what it takes for athletes today. And he's still so attuned. It was incredibly helpful to me, insightful, both of his past, but even just getting to spend time with somebody like that, you just hope some of their greatness rubs off on you. But it was great for him to be out there watching basketball, and he spoke to the team, and great opportunity. And Jared's great too. Just I think they've struck up a friendship, and those things are invaluable to us as a program. But Stu's obviously a legend, and anytime your name's on the court, you've had a huge impact, and he certainly has. We hope to build off that foundation that he built.
Speaking of advice and peace of mind, I don't know, have you talked to Uncle Phil yet? I don't know if you've had to sit down with Phil Olson, but I will tell you, Cam, that get him on your side. He is a pit bull. He will find money. He will fundraise. I don't know a man on planet Earth that bleeds more Aggie blue than Phil Olson.
We will certainly. It sounds like we need to hire him in the development office.
Yeah.
So I need his resume, and we need to get him to work. And I certainly look forward to getting with him and visiting. Maybe I can have you help connect me there.
Yeah, it's probably going to need to happen. And I would say, Phil, and I'd say a lot of alumni, that the Aggie alumni is really a proud base. And I don't know how much you've really started to intertwine yourself with alumni, but I do think that there's a lot of helpful people. I was golfing with Kevin White and Jeff Hunsaker just yesterday or 2 days ago, Scotty?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 days ago maybe. Really just prominent members. I mean, heck, if you could just break into Kevin White's bank account and get some of his money for fundraising, look, I think we could find NILs all over the place.
The dude could fund a whole football team with his money he finds in his couch cushions.
I know. I'm hoping the alumni can go well for you, Cam.
Yeah, no, I have started to make some inroads, have visited with Kevin. He hasn't invited me over yet. Once he does, I'll shake those couch cushions, it sounds
there
like.
There you go.
But the alumni has been incredible, and they are very proud, and they should be. There's been a lot of tremendous accomplishments, and I think we have to show them that we're worthy of their trust again, and that we can support them and make them proud of not only what they accomplished, but what we're going to accomplish in the future. And they are incredibly proud, as they should be. They're incredibly involved, and I'm excited to get to learn and more about them, learn and meet more of them. But certainly have been impressed with the ones we've met and worked with, and look forward to meeting more.
Well, Cam, we appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Looking forward to seeing you down in Vegas tomorrow. Let's go get that W and get this team into a bowl game. But appreciate your time as always.
Good luck, Cam.
No, thank you for having me, and hopefully we don't find you on the table, Scotty. Stay away from the tables.
I know.
He's already got you coined.
No promises there. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. There he is, Cameron Walker, new athletic director at Utah State, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Yeah, I like it. I like that.
He's a good dude, man.
President Mortensen is very familiar with cash, and Idaho born and raised. I like that Cam is very familiar with cash and understands that valley. I don't know if I've ever felt more encouraged about Utah State's direction. That's the first I'd heard of the TV deal. But if we're talking about CBS affiliation with USA Network and the C-Dub, and by the way, everybody makes fun of the C-Dub. I've got it on my TV.
Hey, that's all you need to know is that it's available to you.
Darn right.
Can you turn on your TV and find it? Yes. Okay, there you go.
So I've got CBS-SN.
Yep.
I've got CW. I've got USA, and that's all on my base dish package.
Yep.
So
you don't have to get some higher package. You don't have to have another subscription. You may want to tell your wife that you have to subscribe to Cinemax to get it, but that's between you and her.
Well, I think that has become more benign over the years.
Yeah, it has.
I don't think it's as aggressive as it was in the late 90s.
That's us 90s kids talking.
Yeah, yeah. It had the nickname Skinemax for a reason. So let's go ahead and kick that off the networks.
Yeah.
But Scotty, I brought up the egos in the room with Cam. Do you think he's soft shoeing a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Because I feel like Gonzaga's going to sit at the basketball table and be like, we all kind of know what we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Boise State's going to sit at the football table. I feel like the original Pac-12 2, Washington State and Oregon State are going to be like, just so you know, we brought you on board, but there are going to be some rules here,
I think that that's going to happen. I think right now, from everybody I've talked to from different schools, there's a strong honeymoon side going on right now. And then as soon as this litigation with the Mountain West comes to a close, then I think you're going to see the egos. But right now there's kind of an all for one. Let's get through this litigation. Let's keep as much money as we possibly can. And then when that's in the clear and we have some money to divide up, then it's going to be a little interesting. Then it's going to be interesting, very, very, to see how this thing plays out. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All college college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on The Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right. By the way, Petros Papadakis was supposed to join us. He just texted me. He's running into some issues and will not be able to make it today. So we'll get him on another show.
Oh, not today at all?
Yeah, he just barely got a text.
Okay,
here.
no problem.
He's running into some issues and profusely apologizes.
No problem. Couple big games, obviously, here with BYU and Utah, and a couple of must-win games, must-win situations.
Yep.
I talked about it in the opening segment. There's just a lot of anxiety that rides on this. You know, I've really got no skin in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I call the games for BYU. Obviously, I want great things for Kalani. You and I have watched, observed, and broadcast for Kyle Whittingham and this Utah team for a lot of years, so we want great things for them. But what it comes down to is it's the anxiety of just knowing that it's all or nothing, it feels like, in this weekend.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, I think
It's
you hit it
all
right
or
on the head.
nothing.
Yep.
You know, they're like coming out of the Texas Tech loss for BYU. It was tough loss. Hey, but you got everything to play for.
Mm-hmm.
With Utah, coming out of the BYU loss, it was like, hey, tough loss, second loss in conference. You know, that hurts. But there's still everything to play for in front of you. Because at that point, it felt like there was everything to play for, and it was kind of reminding Utah, like, don't let it force two losses in a row. And it didn't. Utah overcame it, and it's almost like they thrived because of it. Almost an opportunity, like, if we can get back at BYU in the Big 12 championship, or we can get back to the Big 12 championship, we can prove this team's worth. And the other thing that's raised the stakes a lot, Scotty, and I think you know as much as I know behind the scenes, the amount of cost that's going into players. It's like, you know, you and I have a pretty good idea of a lot of the different numbers that are going on behind the scenes for players. So when I got to the NFL and I got my first paycheck, and I was looking at the zeros and looking at the numbers and thinking, geez, how am I even earning this? Like, I'm a practice squad player. I'm a bubble player. How do I earn this so that I can stay on the bubble, then I can stay even more on the bubble and stay even more on the team roster? How do I earn this? The anxieties that came with the payment were as hard to deal with as a lot of different things in life. Because you're like, geez, I want to keep this incoming. I want people to believe I'm earning this. How do I earn this? So I've got a perspective of money, the checks that are coming in. And I'm also seeing the way kids are spending it. Kids are spending their money. They're all driving these fancy new cars. They've got boats. I told you one kid that you and I know pretty well just bought a big home in St. George.
Yeah.
Bought a house, straight out, used cash, bought it in St. George.
I do know of a player that and I applaud him for this, bought a duplex and is renting it out to his teammates.
Yep.
And using it as an investment property.
The money is real.
Yeah.
And these kids are making big bucks. And I know a lot of the kids that are making the big bucks. And I like them. The good kids.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I think that the word deserve the money is kind of tough. Okay, when you start to say deserve. Now, here's the problem. Are you earning your money? There's a lot of kids on these Utah and BYU rosters that I look at and I'm like, I know what he's making. You ain't earning that.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose to TCU, and then everybody who has any idea of what type of money you're making, you're like, are you earning it, kid? Hey, coaches, are you earning it? Because if you're not, look, everybody's fighting for $1 now. Everybody's scrapping for $1. Who wants to go earn it? Same with Utah. I know Utah, they issued some paydays on dudes that were maybe not in the portal even.
Yeah.
And Utah's like, can't lose them. What's it going to take? Well, now these kids, the way you prove your worth is you play your role and you get wins. You could play your role and get losses, and you're still not proving your worth. It's the other tough thing about making money in a team sport. You know, I told you, Scotty, if I could go back into my high school career, I was a better wrestler than I was a football player. If I could have made money through wrestling, I'd have done it because I controlled my destiny.
Yeah.
I didn't rely on people around me. It's the same in boxing, same in tennis, same in a non-team sport. And I know I'm going to get into the semantics of, well, yeah, but it is a team sport because a trainer and blah. Now stop it, man. It's you on that court. It's you in that mat, on that mat. It's you in that ring. You control your destiny. You know, BYU and Utah right now, I could be making $860,000 as a left tackle. If my quarterback that's making $450,000 isn't producing and we're not winning, I look like the loser.
Yeah. Well, I remember a playoff series, and I think you were probably just starting in radio at the time, I'm sure you remember it, when Andre Karolinko broke down and started crying before a playoff game.
Oh, man, yeah.
And it was and that was a guy that, and look, Andre Karolinko had his warts, we all know it, but it was because he knew he was the highest paid player on the team, and yet he was coming off the bench, and he didn't have the role, and he felt, you know, this enormity of being paid all this money but not being able to produce and being the third or fourth option on a team, and those different feelings that went along with it, and it wore on him. And you look at a guy, look, I know a guy that was given a certain amount of money and underperformed due to that money 2 years ago. Well, last year they came to him and said, hey, guess what? You can still be part of this team, but now the number is this. Now with contracts, you know, with no contracts, it hurts the team sometimes, but also hurts the player because they can come in and say, guess what? We're not going to give you any money, or we're going to give you a third of the money we gave you last year because of how you performed. And I know it's not pay for play, but it's pay for play.
It is. Yeah, it is. I am hoping that this distribution will stabilize some things, but and it'll stabilize your base. But the NIL world, name, image, and likeness, you're still making money on advertisements. And, yeah, I know that it has to be approved. But there's still going to be slimy deals that's pay for play.
Yeah.
There's just it's almost impossible to navigate it. So these kids are still going to be on the hook. But man, Scotty, I feel the pressure. And I do have a lot of PTSD from my time in professional football because I truly felt like it was all I had. I didn't have my degree. I didn't know broadcasting would be a career for me.
Yeah.
I had two babies. I had one on the way.
I can't imagine what that was like.
I just felt like every practice and every game was everything. And if I lost it, then how do I keep my wife happy as a husband? How do I keep my kids fed as a dad? So when I would practice and play a game, I played like their livelihoods and their lives depended on it. And it was such a tough time in life. And these kids at a younger age now are starting to feel that way because a lot of these kids are sending money home.
Yes, very true.
A lot of these kids have already bought the car for mom or bought the house for mom and dad or paid off the mortgage. And they're looking at them like, son, don't do that. And the son's like, no, I'm all proud and look at me. Well, what happens when the GM, now every team's got a GM now, when the GM comes to you and says, hey, look, I know that you've got another year of eligibility. We either need you to move into the draft or move on. Well, yeah, but I just paid off my parents' mortgage. Oh, yeah, I just bought a house in St. George. Oh yeah, I just paid cash for this Land Cruiser. We don't care. Man, the anxieties are hard. And that's a 19-year-old kid that's dealing with that.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are true freshmen. There's 18-year-old kids now that got a $700,000 payday that are like, oh, what do I do now?
It's all gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone. All right, 2:45. Hans and Scotty will wrap up this bad boy next. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of Hans Olsen and Scotty G, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up another edition of the show, Hans and Scotty. It's a Football Friday. We got a busy weekend coming up. Utah on the road against Baylor. BYU late night tomorrow night against TCU.
Man.
Utah State on the road in Las Vegas. I'm going to Lloyd's Roomba, wherever the Raiders play, whatever that place is called.
Stay away from the hot dogs, my friend.
Yeah, no worries there. Yeah, that's right. That's where you guys had like those nasty hot
worst
dogs,
meal
right?
ever. And the burger looked like it was shaved off a elephant's leg.
No Bar W beef on those burgers, man.
Nope.
No, sir. So, busy day in college football coming up tomorrow, and we'll have it covered completely right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
So, a few state championship games going on today. Corner Canyon just dismantled. Corner Canyon just dismantled Mountain Ridge 59-20.
Ouch.
Kanab is currently leading Beaver 7-0. And it looks like Sky Ridge and Lone Peak, I think they get kicked off at 2:30.
Okay.
So it's just starting. I think it's currently 0-0.
Yeah, I'm looking at it over your shoulder here, watching.
Does it look 0-0?
Yeah, 0-0. Yep.
Yeah, so 0-0 in that game, but
That'll be a good one.
it's so nice not having a son involved in the playoffs. But I will tell you,
He's making his presence felt in other ways.
watching that ball bounce off that upright
Oh, man.
a year ago today,
Yeah. Was that a year ago today?
their kicker missed the extra point in double overtime. And my son went home a loser.
Oh, he didn't go home a loser.
Oh, no, he's a loser, and I call him a loser.
Stop it.
Look,
Stop it.
I told him, I said, look, son, that's why you learn how to kick. So you don't put it in some bum's hands.
That's why you go tell the coach, let's go for 2 and the win. Not a tie and go into another overtime.
He's like, well, Dad, you can't put that loss on me. I said, I put that loss squarely on you. What are you talking about?
Look, I know you're angry right now, but let's not.
No, he took the L, man. He took the L. He's like, I got 2 other championship rings. I was like, oh, big deal. Didn't get one your senior year. Oh, how many did you get your senior year? It's like, well, son.
Oh, I want the stories you can tell right now. Our guy is going through it right now.
Yeah, Rock's causing problems.
Oh, boy.
I love the kid.
Oh, I
love
look,
the kid.
I love him like my own son, but right now I'm kind of glad he is not my son.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you. So out on the reservation,
Jake, you'll like this.
there are a lot of wild.
By the way, yeah, this makes it sound worse than it really is.
there are a lot of wild dogs,
Yes.
and he was sent home from a place with a puppy because they were going to kill the puppy, and he's like, "Don't kill the puppy." And they're like, "Well, that's what we do here."
Yeah.
And there was a litter of 8. We don't take care of 8, so they die. So now Rock's got a puppy, and he's like, "Somebody's got to come get this dog." So then my second daughter, Mackie, who's a bleeding heart for all animals, is like, "This is the perfect fit." So she's leveraging me to go get the reservation dog. I was like, you got to understand, like these res dogs.
They're going to come with a history.
Yeah, man.
They might be coming with some things in that fur you don't really want in your home.
Like they're eating rabbit bellies that have maggots in it.
So, but what kind of do we know? Is it just like a mutt?
Yeah, it's a mutt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
a
got a
mutt.
pic?
Oh, yeah, they're sending all kinds of pics. Like, Dad, this has to happen.
My daughter just sent me one yesterday about how she wants to go get this dog. It's a rescue dog, and I'm like, no.
It looks like a pig.
It does look like a pig.
He could have at least picked a pretty dog to try to.
So how long has it been with him?
About 4 hours now.
Oh.
Because the Rez family sent him home with it. And
What's the mission press? Does he know yet?
Oh,
No,
mission!
they
No,
don't.
yeah.
Do they know anything?
No, and they don't want to know anything.
They just turn their head.
Yeah, no, I told Hans that me and I, on my mission, my companion and I, we got a dog, and we had it for a month and a half, and the mission president found out, and we got a good talking to over that one. Had to give it up, gave it to a family, and then there was a specific mission rule that said you cannot have pets on the mission. I'm like, I had a rule because of me. I kind of had I was puffing my chest out.
So you're
going to
drive down to go get this?
Nope.
You're going to buckle like a cheap suit.
You're probably right.
I mean, you can act. Hans acts tough, just so your listeners know. I mean, he's this big Billy Bad A, and walks around here all chest puffed out. He's soft. He is soft.
When it comes to the kids.
Oh, he's soft.
And Mama.
Oh, yeah, Mama shut him down so quick. It's crazy.
Yeah, no.
Like extra medicated cotton soft.
He's like, I only want to do this. And his wife's like, no, we're doing this. Okay, babe, whatever you want.
Okay.
He's kind of got you nailed.
You want me to buy you a burger, too?
As long as you're happy.
some
Jake, can you throw in tent for the lady?
roses.
Right here on 97.5 DKSL Sports.